Hey guys, today we are going to discuss a very sensitive but crucial topic: sexual lust and gratification. As Christians, it is essential to address this issue with honesty, compassion, and biblical wisdom. Sexual lust refers to an intense, often obsessive desires for sexual pleasure or gratification. This can manifest in various ways, such as, firstly, obsessive thoughts or fantasies. This can be as a result of recurring, intrusive, and distressing sexual thoughts, images, or desires that are difficult to control, causing emotional turmoil, guilt, shame, or anxiety, and potentially interfering with daily life and relationships. Secondly, compulsive behaviors such as excessive masturbation or pornography use. Thirdly, objectification of others for personal gratification. This can be treating others or objects for someone's own sexual pleasure rather than as individuals with dignity and worth. For instance, using someone for sexual purposes without regard for their feelings or boundaries. As the Bible warns us in Matthew 5:27 to 28, which says, "You have heard that it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart." What are the consequences of sexual lust and gratification? We have the consequences in diverse and different aspects of one's life. They are the emotional consequences, relational consequences, physical consequences, and spiritual consequences. What are the emotional consequences? We have one, guilt and shame. Feeling guilty or ashamed about one's actions can lead to emotional turmoil. Secondly, anxiety and stress. The secrecy and deception surrounding sexual lust can cause anxiety and stress. Thirdly, emotional attachment. Becoming emotionally attached to someone who is not a healthy partner can lead to emotional pain. Fourthly, loss of self-respect. Engaging in sexual lust can lead to feelings of self-disgust and loss of self-respect. Now, looking at the relational consequences, we have firstly, damaged relationships. Sexual lust can damage relationships with partners, spouses, family, and friends. Secondly, trust issues. Betraying trust through sexual lust can lead to long-term trust issues. Thirdly, communication breakdown. Secrecy and deception surrounding sexual lust can lead to communication breakdowns. And fourthly, loss of intimacy. Engaging in sexual lust can lead to a loss of intimacy and connection with one's partner. Now, looking at the physical consequences, we have firstly sexually transmitted infections, which is STIs. Engaging in sexual lust can increase the risk of contracting STIs. Secondly, unplanned pregnancies. Sexual lust can lead to unplanned pregnancy, which can have significant physical and emotional consequences. Thirdly, physical health risks. Engaging in compulsive sexual behavior can lead to physical health risks, such as sleep deprivation and mental health issues. Then we have the spiritual consequences. Firstly, separation from God. Engaging in sexual sin or sexual lust can lead to a sense of separation from God. Secondly, guilt and shame. Feeling guilty or ashamed about one's action can lead to spiritual turmoil. Thirdly, loss of spiritual intimacy. Engaging in sexual lust can lead to a loss of spiritual intimacy and connection with God. As the Bible cautions us in 1 Corinthians 6:18 to 20, which says, "Flee from sexual immorality. All other sins a person commits are outside the body, but whoever sins sexually sins against their own body. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit, who is in you, whom you have received from God?" Here are 5 ways sexual lust and gratification can start and affect young adults, which are: number 1, exposure to explicit content. Early exposure to explicit content, such as pornography or explicit music videos, can shape young adults' perceptions of sex and relationships, leading to unhealthy expectations and desires. Number 2, social media and peer pressure. Social media platforms can perpetuate unrealistic and unhealthy standards of beauty, sex, and relationships. Peer pressure from friends or online communities can encourage young adults to engage in sexual lust and gratifications. Number 3, emotional vulnerability. Young adults experiencing emotional vulnerability, such as low self-esteem, anxiety, or depression, may turn to sexual lust and gratifications as a coping mechanism or way to feel validated. Number 4, lack of healthy relationships. Young adults who lack healthy and meaningful relationships may seek validation and connection through sexual lust and gratifications, leading to unhealthy attachment patterns. And number 5, curiosity and exploration. Natural curiosity and exploration during adolescence and young adulthood can lead some individuals to experiment with sexual lust and gratifications, potentially developing into unhealthy habits or addictions. Now, looking at the causes, the consequences, and the definition of sexual lust, let's go into the tips on how to get away from sexual lust and gratification. So, how can we break free from sexual lust and gratifications? Firstly, seek accountability. Share your struggles with a trusted friend, mentor, or counselor. Secondly, practice self care. Engage in healthy habits such as exercise, meditation, or creative activities. Thirdly, set boundaries. Limit exposure to explicit content and establish healthy relationships. Fourthly, pursue spiritual growth. Cultivate a strong relationship with God through prayer, scripture, and community. The fifth one, seek professional help. Consider counseling or therapy to address underlying issues. In conclusion, sexual lust and gratification are serious issues that require attention, compassion, and biblical wisdom. By understanding the consequences, recognizing the root causes, and seeking help, we can break free from the grip of sexual lust and gratification.